Welcome back to another episode of Out Loud Geek, where we discuss news and views about pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, food, cooking, the outdoors, and more. Today's Hollywood is all about pushing the woke identity politics message. And in recent years, to ensure that woke ideologues have as much freedom as possible to push that message in as many ways as possible, they have more often than not sought individuals, actors, writers, directors, etc., who have as little familiarity with a franchise's earlier lore, canon, and subject matter as possible. In other words, the more unqualified someone is, the more desirable they become in today's Hollywood. As baffling and as illogical as that is, because for the woke identity politics ideologues, it fits within the circular logic of their ideology. And that, in of itself, is a hallmark of woke identity politics, as it is presented as part of the widely used jargon term of DEI. And that's really all DEI is today. But before proceeding, I'd like to ask everyone to please like this video, please share the video on social media, please subscribe to support this channel, and please press the bell to receive notifications. Thanks! So among the various actors and actresses that Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, Leslye Headland, cast to appear in her upcoming Star Wars series, The Acolyte, is an actor by the name of Charlie Barnett. And guess what else Charlie Barnett has appeared in? Why, he was apparently in all 15 episodes of the Netflix show Russian Doll, which was co-created by Leslye Headland and also featured Headland's wife, Rebecca Henderson, who also plays the green alien Jedi Master Vernestra Rwoh in The Acolyte. Imagine that! Headland must really like Charlie Barnett, but do you want to know something else? Natasha Lyonne, who also co-created Russian Doll with Leslye Headland and starred in the show, has been cast to play a character in Disney's and Marvel Studios' upcoming MCU movie, The Fantastic Four, which has a current premiere date of July 25th, 2025. And that cross-fertilization between Leslye Headland and Disney doesn't end there, folks, because Russian Doll actress Greta Lee is going to appear in Disney's upcoming Tron Ares movie that has a release date of October 25th, 2025, which also includes the Acolyte actress Jodie Turner-Smith.
Yes.
So it would appear that if you're good friends with Leslye Headland, you'll get even more work from Disney. But let's go back and talk about Charlie Barnett. An article that was released on May 31st by That Park Place and was written by John F. Trent is entitled, Star Wars: The Acolyte Actor Claims Anakin Skywalker Blew Up the Death Star, and that recent Disney Star Wars shows did not feature Jedi. Oh, really? Well, who could this expert Star Wars actor possibly be? Star Wars: The Acolyte actor Charlie Barnett attempted to paint himself as a Star Wars fan, but came across looking completely ignorant about the franchise by claiming that Anakin Skywalker blew up the Death Star. Do you mean to tell me that Charlie Barnett doesn't actually know shit about Star Wars? Who could have possibly guessed that? In an interview with The Nerds of Color, Barnett's first comments were to claim that Jedi had not been featured in recent Disney Star Wars films and shows, despite them being prominently featured in the most recent series, Ahsoka, as well as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Luke Skywalker is also featured in Ruin Johnson's deplorable movie Star Wars VIII: The Last Jedi, as well as Jar Jar Abrams' dumpster fire of a movie, Star Wars IX: The Rise of Palpatine. Barnett said, quote, "One of the things that was most terrifying is stepping into that position of Jedi. We haven't seen a lot of Jedi in the last couple of films or even TV shows that have been coming out. So returning to that storyline and reinvesting in it was daunting because the Jedi are these, unquote. But rather than actually complete that sentence, he immediately says, Quote, and from where I was growing up, from the films that I was seeing, they were better than could be. They were the utmost and could do nothing wrong. It was this kind of godlike nature, unquote. No fan would ever describe the Jedi as being godlike. George Lucas has never described them like that either, but I'll let you watch what he said for yourselves.
Maybe one of the things that was most terrifying is stepping into that position of Jedi. We haven't seen a lot of Jedi in the last couple films or even TV shows that have been coming out. And from where I was growing up, from the films that I was seeing, they were better than could be. They were the utmost and could do nothing wrong. And it was this kind of godlike nature.
While it's unclear what films Barnett has watched, the Jedi were clearly never portrayed as godlike beings in any of the 6 films that George Lucas helmed. I have no idea where Barnett got that idea from. In the original trilogy, the surviving Jedi had been driven into exile and were defeated by the Empire. And it was in the first movie, Star Wars IV: A New Hope, that Obi-Wan had informed Luke Skywalker that his father was killed by Darth Vader. And it would later be revealed in Star Wars V: The Empire Strikes Back that it was his father who had been consumed by the dark side and became Darth Vader. In the prequels, it was rather obvious that the Jedi could be wrong and do wrong. Qui-Gon Jinn expressed this to Obi-Wan Kenobi repeatedly in Star Wars I: The Phantom Menace. And Qui-Gon was also killed by Darth Maul at the end of that film. Yoda also made it clear that the dark side had clouded his own vision. Then in Star Wars III: Revenge of the Sith, it was very clear that the Jedi are not all-powerful godlike beings, as they are all defeated by the machinations of Emperor Palpatine, which involved their own clone troopers gunning many of them down. So I personally don't know what Charlie Barnett had seen of Star Wars before he acted his part in The Acolyte, but he clearly hasn't seen much of it. That's despite him trying to paint himself as a fan, but Barnett clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. Later in the interview, he made an even greater faux pas when he declared that Anakin Skywalker destroyed the Death Star. When asked about his character's relation to good and evil in the show, Barnett answered in part, quote, "This good and bad element, it's so dependent on your experiences, your history, your parents, your friends. Like, so much bleeds into that. And that's what makes it, why Palpatine would be committed to the directions that he is committed to as bad or good, however you view it. I personally will see it as bad, but a lot of people would see the sides are like, well, Anakin just killed a whole Death Star. How many people died on that? Is that not bad? I find that part of Star Wars really human and the best at." Unquote. What he said was very bizarre, so let's take a look at that clip.
A lot of people would see the sides that are like, well, Anakin just killed a whole Death Star. How many people died on that? Is that not bad?
I think he made Rebecca Henderson uncomfortable when he said that, with her moving around in her seat. And that's not the only interview where he says this. Let's also watch this clip from an interview that he had with Collider.
People have been talking to me online about how Darth Vader is such a bad person. It's very clear, and it's very well established from those actions. But if you can't look and see that Anakin blowing up the Death Star possibly killed millions and millions of people, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this right now.
You should just shut up.
It's just like,
even Daphne Keene is trying to tell Charlie Barnett to shut up, while Manny Jacinto is trying not to burst out laughing. Now, I don't think that Charlie Barnett is a bad person, but I think he has some highly questionable views about what occurs in the Star Wars franchise. You would think that Disney or Lucasfilm would have coached the actors about what to say and not say, as well as ensure that they don't appear stupid about past productions within the franchise, but apparently not. Oh well. From the time that I am recording this video, The Acolyte will premiere in just a few days on June 4th. And please check out my previous video about Kathleen Kennedy preemptively attacking all male fans of the franchise, since it's very obvious that most have already rejected The Acolyte. Thanks for watching today, and a huge thanks to everyone who has subscribed to our channel. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, and please feel free to share a comment. If you'd like to help support this channel, please press the red subscribe button, and please press the bell to receive notifications for new content. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Twitter by clicking on the links in the description. Until next time, this is Out Loud Geek.